Us in on the crucial Florida Senate election and what's going on down there. We have Senator-elect Rick Scott is with us. Senator, great to see you. Obviously had a good court ruling. Now let's talk about where we are and where we go from here.
So as you know, I ended the night Tuesday night with a 57,000 vote lead, and now I'm down to 15,000 vote lead. We had to go to court to try to get the supervisor elections in Palm Beach and Broward County to actually do their job. To not violate the law and to provide us information. We won that lawsuit today, so we're looking forward to getting that information. We are, we've hired the right lawyers. We have Gibson Dunn, who argued the case with Bush versus Gore successfully. Their lawyers, Bill Nelson's lawyers, who is basically trying to steal this election, they went to federal court today trying to get the certification postponed. They were not able to do that. So basically tomorrow, my win will be certified by the court subject to a recount, assuming I'll be less than the 40-some thousand votes needed to do a recount. And then we'll just keep going. I mean, it looks like they're going to do everything they can to steal this election. I'm so disappointed in Bill Nelson. A career politician, has been there forever, and all he's doing now is he's hired Hillary Clinton's lawyer to say, and his lawyer said it, I'm here to win this election, not a fair election, not make sure all the ballots are cast. I'm here to win this election. And the word should be, I'm here to steal this election. Let's go over the laws
that are broken here. Within 30 minutes of the polls closing, by state law, you are supposed to literally have a vote tally in terms of mail absentee ballots are supposed to be counted within 30 minutes. We're also supposed to have observers. We're all supposed to, by law, every 45 minutes there's supposed to be an update. None of that has happened here. And this particular woman that we keep talking about, Brenda Snipes, she has a history of violating Florida and federal law. How is it possible 72 hours later, plus, that we are in a position where they're still dumping ballots, they never report on time, they're not allowing the people to observe as is protocol? How is that possible?
Well, we've gone to court. We've asked the Florida Department of Law Enforcement to investigate, but they've come up in Broward, just Broward by itself, after election night, they came up with 78,000 more votes. We still don't have the information on it. That's why we've gone to court, and another 15,000 in Palm Beach County. No idea how they showed up, when they were voted, anything about them. So we won the lawsuit today. We're waiting to get that information. So it's hard to believe. What you can only assume that this is just, you have to assume that they're doing this just for fraud, to try to steal the election.
But there are 67 counties, Governor, Senator-elect in Florida. How come the other 65 counties never have any problems, and the problems always exist in these two counties? And at what point, where is law enforcement, the fact that they would allow 3 full days to have zero supervision? Right. They should have gone in there and shut this place down because, again, they're just violating laws left and right, which she has been found to do. So it seems now, God only knows what they've done in the 72 hours. And by the way, she expressed she didn't appear to like you very much. Seems like she has a strong opinion against you.
Right. Well, clearly she's got a bias, but my expectation is law enforcement is going to find out exactly what happened. The courts we're winning in the courts, so that's going to help us get to the bottom of this. But look, I won, or the citizens of this state won this election fair and square. I am the senator-elect in this state. We will be certified tomorrow, and we're going to fight every one of these lawsuits, and we're going to win. We're not going to let these liberal activists from all over the country come down here and say, "Oh, we're going to steal this election from somebody that followed the will." We're going to follow the will of the people in this state. We're going to work hard every day, and we're going to win this.
All right. So it's going to be an investigation. This is going to go on, but you're saying by Saturday, you will be declared the winner.
So the first thing will be the certification based on the information that comes from the local supervisor elections. We should be certified as the winner at that point on Saturday, subject to a recount. And then we'll have the machine recount through next Thursday. And in the meantime, any votes that come in from the military, which can come in a little bit later, those will be counted. And then if I'm below about 21,000, then there will be a manual recount after that. But in the meantime, they're going to, the Democrats, Bill Nelson, who can't stand to lose, is just going to file every lawsuit they can, and we're going to have to fight back every lawsuit there is.
Unbelievable. Governor, nobody should have to go through this. And the fact that the history of Brenda Snipes, the history of these two counties, even the Panhandle, 27 days earlier, hit with one of the most severe hurricanes with so much damage, they didn't have a problem. This is unacceptable, and it looks like a banana republic. We send observers over to other countries. We need an observer in Broward County. Maybe we can get somebody to observe from now on. And she cannot be allowed to do this again. I hope we get to the bottom of it. All right, well, watching, Governor. We're going to pay close attention.
A Florida supervisor of elections who was ordered to turn over any duplicate, overvoted or undervoted ballots by Saturday morning has requested an emergency hearing and filed for an extension, a move that's been condemned by Republican Rick Scott's campaign as embarrassing and unacceptable. Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections Susan Bucher filed on Friday, asking that a hearing be held in response to the judge's earlier decision in favor of Scott. Circuit Judge Krista Marks ruled that Bucher must provide the county canvassing board with any duplicate ballots, and any overvoted or undervoted ballots that it doesn't already have by no later than 10 a.m. Saturday. Bucher, whose requested hearing was scheduled for 8:30 a.m. Saturday, has asked for more time to comply with the judge's directive. The move was slammed by Scott's campaign. Tonight, Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections Susan Bucher announced that she is refusing to comply with a court order to submit overvotes and undervotes to the Palm Beach County Canvassing Board for review under the court-ordered deadline, Chris Hartline, Scott for Florida spokesman, said in a statement. Susan Bucher has consistently refused to follow state law and comply with legally required deadlines and regulations. Hartline continued, whether it's gross incompetence or intentional disregard for the rule of law is irrelevant at this point. Either way, it is embarrassing and unacceptable. Scott, who is narrowly leading in the state's election for the United States Senate seat against longtime incumbent Democratic Senator Bill Nelson, filed a lawsuit with the National Republican Senatorial Committee against Palm Beach County. They alleged that Bucher illegally used her own discretion to determine voter intent when reviewing damaged or incorrectly filled out absentee ballots while refusing to allow impartial witnesses to monitor the process. Scott's complaint against Bucher alleges that officials illegally refused to allow Republicans, or any witnesses to monitor Palm Beach County's handling of damaged absentee ballots. Even more alarmingly, Scott claims, Bucher failed to allow the Palm Beach County Canvassing Board to determine, as required by law, which damaged or improperly filled out absentee ballots were valid, and how the voters of those ballots had intended to vote. Instead, Scott and the NRSC argue, Bucher and her staff simply used their own judgment when determining voters' intent. Scott and the NRSC also filed a lawsuit against Broward County.
Tuesday night, he's got a 60,000 vote margin. So he thinks he's got it because the Bush recount, Bush at the end of that night only had a 2,000 vote margin. So very comfortable. And then a day goes by and all these votes come in from Broward, kind of fishy. And he sleeps on it and he wakes up the next day, more votes coming in from Broward. The votes coming in from Broward, 3-1 Democrat. And that's a 2-1 Democrat at best kind of county. All right. And now they squeeze it down to 15,000 vote margin, triggering a recount. Very interesting. Now, listen, this woman who we're talking about right now, Snipes. We call her Sneaky Snipes already. She's got the nickname.
Do we?
That's what we call her. And I use the word
not what we
royally because she's got a history of this. She's been already accused of ballot stuffing, of hiding amendments from ballots. A judge has ruled that she illegally destroyed ballots.
Not in this case.
Not in this case, but in 2016 and in 2018, she was accused of not allowing Scott's representatives to watch her fill out provisional ballots. And the judge just smacked her down and says it's time to open up the doors because you're doing everything in secret. Her number one job is to know how many ballots were cast, how many were counted, and how many are left to be counted. She says she has no idea. And the fact that she's not communicating to the public or to the campaigns how many votes cast, counted, and to be counted is suspicious. Because if you don't know the tabulation, then anything could happen underneath. And that's why this woman, no one has faith in her at all, because especially the way she's conducted herself this day and 2 years ago.
There's no evidence.
Go ahead,
Sneaky
Dan.
snipes.
You ever see that thing on the internet?
evidence.
You had one job.
Yes.
You had one job.
Yeah.
Like you're in charge of elections. You don't know how many votes are.
Yeah.
Like if there was ever memeable material that you had one job,
That's right.
Sneaky snipes. Just count the vote. You can't even count the votes. Now, a couple of things here. Number one, there may not be direct evidence of fraud, but evidence of irregularities is everywhere. They had to have the votes posted 30 minutes after the polls closed. They didn't. That's just a matter of fact. And another thing, yes, I agree with you. Every vote should be counted. Absolutely. That should go across the aisle. The question is when. What is Florida doing? Late voting now? So now we're doing early voting
Late
and we're
voting.
doing post-election balloting?
The Democrats are outperforming Republicans in the late vote.
I mean,
happening.
they do
They're
the dead vote, the late vote. This is absurd.
Dan, they're counting votes that were cast on Election Day. They are slow to count in Florida. They're slow to count in lots
Marie,
of states.
Point stipulated. The problem is, as Greg accurately stated, she doesn't even know how many votes are to be counted.
didn't have
you
it at
had
the
one
top of her
job.
head. I
you,
mean-
you have.
But she
Marie,
hasn't
you have
even
one
communicated
job.
to the campaigns or to the public what the vote count
And
is.
she has
That's
to now.
required by law.
A lot of these lawsuits that we're going to see during these recounts are going to be shaky on legal ground, but done for partisan political reasons. That happens in every recount. We've seen that. We just have to let the evidence take us where it
It
takes
is kind
us.
of amazing that you, I mean, and it's not good, Greg, I'll go back to you, that either way, right?
Yes.
Half of the population there in Florida will think that the other half did something to steal this election from them. That's not good.
The Dems just want to make America suffer. It's like losing the World Series and demanding an extra inning a day later. I have a new nickname, by the way, for Bill Nelson.
What's up?
Recount Dracula. Anyway, but we predicted this, I think, last week. We said that no matter what the outcome was, whether the Dems were going to win or lose, they weren't going to be happy because they were just, this is too much of their life.
I'm happy. I
But
feel
you're different,
great.
Marie. You're a very
I'm
pleasant
happy.
person.
Dana, can I just say one thing, though? I lost an election by 1 point, and I won on election day and lost on an absentee count. I conceded, and you can go to the Daily Caller article. I wrote a very nice letter to John Delaney, who's now running for president, and said it's time. Even people encouraging me to file a lawsuit. It's time to move on. This is BS.
But you
there
let
are
the absentee
clear
votes get
irregularities.
counted. You let them get counted.
Yeah, but according to the rules, why did they
That's
just
what
lose
they're
in
doing
court?
now.
But why did they just lose in court? Why did she not post 30 minutes after like she was supposed to?
She's going to have to tonight.
The lesson is never concede.
Well, I mean, no, seriously,
I wouldn't be
Bill
sitting here on the
Nelson
floor
never conceded. And
You'd still be
Andrew
running.
Gillum did. Jesse made a good point, and then we laughed about it.
What was
Right
the
on top of it.
Like most points.
Like,
you laugh.
don't concede. And Bill Nelson never conceded, but Andrew Gillum did, and now that one also could end up at a recount.
That's true.
Recount Dracula.
And you just saw something on the Twitters?
Yes, and as you know, I love to break news.
Yes.
And I have breaking news right here on my phone. I'm going to get to it right now. I'm going to start reading
Let's go to
this
that
from my
breaking
phone.
news.
Okay, here we go with some breaking news. This is a tweet from Marco Rubio. You might remember him from running for president. And I believe he's a senator?
Of Florida, yes.
Yes, thank you.
Little Marco.
A new and troubling allegation has emerged, a statement under penalty of perjury that Palm Beach County filled out new ballots to replace damaged ones without allowing campaign representatives to witness the process of creating the new ballot, which is required by Florida. So basically, here you have, this is my interpretation, not Marco's, that here you have Democrats who've been screaming and yelling about Russian collusion and interfering with elections. And all the time, the call has been coming from inside the House. It's the Democrats who are colluding and interfering with elections. How convenient that they find these votes after they lose.
Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.